TheClearing by David Armstrong. Part 1. Deeper. Daybreak. The sound of heavy breathing, the rustling of leaves, the snap of twigs, and the shrieking dawn chorus of 1,000 wild birds dragged Galia back to a sort of consciousness. Only sort of. Galia forced the photons entering her bloodshot eyes to make sense of the emerald-green cocoon of the moss and fern on the soft and spongy forest floor as she lay there on her side. This definitely wasn't her bed. Pretty comfortable, though. If only someone would switch out the light, I could sleep it all off. God, she felt rough. No doubt she was paying for the excess of the night before. Must have been a wild one. And now she ended up in this new green universe. The few active neurons in her cortex feebly conspired to resurrect a single memory, but gave up at the first attempt. She tried to lift her head, but it was just too sodding heavy, and for some reason her vision wasn't exactly firing on both spheres. That would be the blindfold, then. The black one, now slightly adrift, revealing one slowly blinking blue eye. The one eye that tracked the slow-moving arachnid as it meandered across the soft organic landscape. She gasped, breath impeded by a foul-smelling gag, mouth forced open in rictus smile. What now? Oh yes, move hands, remove gag, swat the spider into spider oblivion. But her hands were bound behind her back by the leather strap attached to a small handbag. Kick out, then. Nothing. It was an effort, being in this blurry haze and all, but she managed to swivel her one useful eyeball down the length of her body. At least one of her eyes worked. Great. A Santa dress. So painfully scarlet that she had to squint as she surveyed her bare legs that led all the way down to her equally bare feet, tied together at the ankle by her own black stockings. Back at the top end, her bare shoulders seemed to be covered. Why was she draped in a man's dark jacket? Its slightly stale body odour perfume part masked the organic musk of the forest floor. Maybe that's why the spider had decided to scuttle onto fresher pastures. Humans, eh? Galia hadn't the strength to do much more than chew confusedly on the dry gag as she worked towards making some sound beyond the murmuring gurgle that substituted for language. Movement caught her breath. Through the tumble of greenery, pine needles and bits of tree, a man. A more than slightly overweight, middle-aged man, in his white shirt, leaned against the nearest tree, panting for breath. Very visible sweat rings radiated from his armpits, a gross indication of his recent exertion, and now he cursed rapidly in a breathless whisper. "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" Galia frowned sleepily as she watched him wipe his mottled pink brow. He suddenly stopped panting and glanced furtively around the clearing, head cocked as if he had heard something. After several seconds of becoming increasingly and dangerously red-faced, he exhaled wheezily and turned to Galia. He noticed that she was half awake, and he maintained a hoarse, tremulous whisper. "Shh! Just stay very quiet." He hesitated for a few moments, then moved swiftly towards her.